The rain never stopped in Sector 12. It poured down from the rusted steel sky, dripping through gaps in the overhead platforms, splashing in filthy puddles. Neon lights reflected off the wet pavement, painting broken rainbows across cracked concrete. Amid the glow and grime, she sat curled in the shadow of a ventilation duct. Her name was Kaelira. Her skin, once iridescent silver, had dulled to gray. Her thin dress clung to her body, soaked through. She had nothing left, no family, no home, no place among her own people. They had cast her out after the war, calling her useless. On the human streets, she was little more than a ghost. Each passerby glanced at her, then looked away. Averted eyes, curled lips. No one wanted to see the shivering alien girl, barefoot and alone. Kaelira hugged her knees tighter, her stomach aching with hunger. Her chest burned with shame. Why am I still alive? He found her by accident. Caleb Drayton wasn't anyone important, just a mechanic with a small workshop near the freight yard. He carried a sack of spare parts over his shoulder, grumbling about late deliveries, when he spotted her. A small figure, huddled beneath the vent, trembling violently in the cold. For a moment, he almost walked past. Everyone did. Sector 12 was full of strays, humans, aliens, doesn't matter. You couldn't save them all. But something made him stop. Maybe it was the way she didn't even look up when he approached, as if she expected nothing from anyone. "Hey," he said gently. "You all right?" She flinched, lifting her head. Her wide, luminous eyes locked on him, terrified, desperate, and yet too tired to hope. Her voice cracked, barely audible. "I have nowhere." Caleb set the sack down. "When's the last time you ate?" She shook her head slowly. He sighed, pulling a ration bar from his pocket. "Here, take it." She stared, suspicious at first, then snatched it and devoured it in trembling bites. Caleb watched, arms crossed. "You'll get sick out here. Come on." Her brow furrowed. "Why? Why would you help me?" "Because nobody else will," he said simply. His workshop was warm. Old heaters hummed, casting a faint glow against shelves of tools and stacks of scrap. The air smelled of oil and metal, but to Kaelira, it smelled like safety. Caleb handed her a towel and an oversized sweater. She changed quietly, clutching the fabric to her thin frame. "Sit," he said, setting a steaming cup in front of her. "It's not much, just tea." She wrapped her fingers around the cup, savoring the warmth. After a long silence, she whispered, "I don't understand you. Humans don't do this." Caleb raised an eyebrow. "Some don't. Doesn't mean none of us do." She looked down, her glowing eyes reflecting the steam. "I'm nothing. No clan. No credits. Not even clothes. I should have died with the rest of them." Caleb leaned forward. "Listen, you're not nothing. Got it? You're cold, hungry, and beat down, but you're still here. That counts for something." For the first time, she almost believed it. Days turned into weeks. Kaelira stayed in the workshop, at first too timid to move beyond the cot Caleb set up in the back. But gradually, she grew braver. She swept the floor, sorted tools, fetched parts. Caleb didn't ask it of her, but she insisted. "I can't just take," she said. "I need to give back." She learned quickly how to clean carburetors, patch wires, calibrate basic machines. Her hands were delicate, precise. Caleb found himself impressed. "You've got a knack," he said one evening, watching her solder a board. She smiled faintly, pride flickering across her face for the first time. But outside the workshop, the world wasn't so kind. It happened at the supply depot. Caleb had taken her along to help carry parts. The clerk's eyes narrowed the moment he saw her. "You bringing that in here?" he sneered. She's helping me, Caleb said flatly. Aliens don't work here. They steal, they beg, they breed trouble. Get her out before someone complains. Kaelira shrank back, shame flooding her chest. She wanted to run, but Caleb stepped forward, eyes blazing. Say that again. The clerk scoffed. She doesn't belong here. Caleb's voice was iron. She belongs with me. And if you've got a problem with that, you can lose my business. The clerk paled, muttered curses, but handed over the parts. Outside, Kaelira walked in silence, hugging herself. Why do you fight for me? I'm not worth it. Caleb stopped, turning to face her. Don't you ever say that again. You're worth more than they'll ever see. Don't let their hate define you. Her eyes shimmered with tears. You really believe that? He nodded. With everything I've got. Slowly, she began to bloom. She laughed sometimes now, soft, uncertain at first, then brighter. She sang while she worked, low alien melodies that filled the shop with strange beauty. Caleb, who had lived years in silence, found himself listening, smiling without meaning to. Ina, one of his old customers, noticed too. She's changed this place, the woman said, paying for her repaired drone. Feels lighter, warmer. Kaelira overheard, her cheeks flushing silver. For the first time, she felt like she wasn't a ghost anymore. But her past wasn't done haunting her. One night, a group of rough men stumbled into the shop, reeking of alcohol. They spotted Kaelira cleaning the counter. Well, look at this, one sneered. Didn't know you were running a shelter for strays, Drayton. Caleb set his wrench down slowly. She works here. Show some respect. The man laughed. Respect? For her kind? They lost the war. They should have been wiped out. We're just finishing the job. He reached for Kaelira. She froze, terror locking her limbs. But before he could touch her, Caleb moved. His fist slammed into the man's jaw, dropping him. The others hesitated, but one look at Caleb's glare and the wrench in his grip sent them scrambling. Kaelira's chest heaved, tears streaming silently down her face. Caleb knelt beside her. You're safe. I won't let anyone hurt you. Ever. She collapsed against him, sobbing.
Why?
Why do you care so much? He held her gently. Because you deserve someone to. Months later, Sector 12 saw a change. The workshop thrived, faster repairs, cleaner systems, new designs Kaelira invented. Customers returned not just for Caleb, but for her too. Even the skeptics grew quiet when they saw her skill. One evening, as the rain tapped against the roof, Kaelira stood by the window, watching the neon glow. I used to think I'd die on the streets, she whispered. Bare, alone, forgotten. But you gave me a place. A name again. A life. Caleb stood beside her. No one should face the dark alone. She turned, her luminous eyes shining. You gave me shelter. Not just walls, but in here. She pressed her hand to her chest. In my heart. Caleb swallowed, emotion tightening his throat. And you gave me something too. After I lost everything, I thought my life was just fixing machines. Then you walked in, and I remembered what it feels like to care. For a long moment, they stood in silence, the storm outside fading into quiet. The city still rained. Neon still flickered. The world remained harsh, cruel, indifferent. But inside the little workshop, warmth glowed brighter than the lamps. And for Kaelira, the alien girl once homeless, bare and alone, the truth was clear. She had found shelter not in stone or steel, but in the heart of a human who chose to see her worth.